But I don't wanna play for nobody, I wanna play for you.
Okay, is everyone here? Are we comfortable? Gather. I want to get right into it this week. I have a very exciting topic to talk about. Maybe more exciting for me than for others. This is a real thinker. All right. Today, I'm going to be doing something of a lecture on one of my own mentors. He's really only known in the general public by one great work, sort of his magnum opus. It's a bit of an autobiography, a bit of a display of his thoughts and philosophies. I've given you all access to it. I highly recommend a read. It's not long, rather a slight work, but enough with bookkeeping. Let's get into the meat. Harold, he insisted I always call him by his first name. He's an expert in environmental magic. He's a master of it, really. It is the art of changing and manipulating your environment to suit your own psychology, to suit your own mindset. To Harold, it was always, reality be damned, I will make my own. Harold always had the philosophy that if a wish came in your mind of what you would like your environment to be, that there was no reason that it should not be that way, or that you could not change it, create it, put yourself in that environment. Take control of where you are and what your location feels like, what it looks like. One very obvious application of this sort of a philosophy is one's own home. There are so many conventions and rules about what a house needs to look like inside. Throw pillows and curtains, accent colors, and none of those things are bad or wrong or unadvisable even, but those not in the interior decorating business, or those who feel that they do not have a flair for art or decoration, it can be a habit to surrender one's home to the established systems of what a house ought to be inside. A thought may come to a person's mind that it would be soothing or healthful for them to eat their breakfast somewhere cozy, comfortable, warm, blankets, cushions, soft fabrics, but they feel compelled by convention to sit in the kitchen or to leave all the fuzzy, warm, less stylish blankets in their bedroom. Harold would say, take your environment by the reins. Why not keep fuzzy blankets in the living room and eat your breakfast there in an environment that is encouraging for your soul in the mornings when you have to muster enthusiasm and peace to last you the rest of the day? Or, even more exciting, eat your breakfast in the kitchen, but perhaps trick your kitchen out in the coziest of seating. Put that armchair right by the table. If eating breakfast in an armchair would give you a sense of wonder in the morning, what possible reason could there be not to? Interesting anecdote. From my own experience, I find panes of glass suspended in the air on my walls a rather nerve-wracking environment to be in. I don't want pictures on my walls. In a moment of fancy, I imagined once having a mock snowball fight in my living room with rolled up pairs of socks, and the idealized, and that's idealized with quotation marks around it, living room that I was playing in had all of these breakables. Vases and candle holders, pictures on the walls, lamps on precariously spindly tables. And just in that small little fantasy, I was presented with a crossroads. Which environment did I want to experience? Which place did I want to be in? What was going to give me more satisfaction? What was going to be more fun? An environment where I was having a sock snowball fight, or an environment where I had glass pictures on the walls? And again, I would like to emphasize, this is in no way condemning of conventional decor. I love a crisp-looking home. I have no shame admitting that I would page through a catalog and drool over everything in it. They're beautiful pieces of art. Interior decorators are talented people. And if in your fantasies you find yourself at a crossroads between having a gorgeous room like that and having a room that is maybe more practical or more conventional to maybe the environment you grew up in, or an environment that is similar to your coworkers or the people that you socialize with. By all means and with all power, choose the fun one. And such endeavors are never so simple. No one can snap their fingers and have a showroom-ready house. No one can snap their fingers and have their bedroom look like Penelope, or have their back patio suddenly modeled after the Council of Elrond. Things cost money and take up time, but one of the beauties of Harold's philosophy is that just in those moments where you have a fork in the road, a choice between what should be done and what you'd really like to do, I really, really do encourage you to feed that little bit of child, that little bit of whimsy in your soul, because what makes a day better than a light soul? Home environments are just one area where we can use environmental magic. Harold's work, in essence, is an instructional tome in the very, very basics of world building. You aren't being escapist or rejecting of reality per se, because in fact the world that we live in is an incredibly creative place. We are beings and creators within this place, and anything we do is in addition to its existence. We're adding to the data, we're adding to the world. So by taking things that are inside of us and putting them into the world, we're expanding it, we're building on it, we're making this place, this real world, all the richer. Not because it was shallow and feeble before, but because this is where we are, so we can add to it. It's exciting. And anyone can do this. You don't have to be an amazing world builder. You don't have to be a conventional writer or visual artist. You're simply taking control of your own environment. But let's move away from this world for a moment, and let's start thinking about some of those basic core ideas of world building. The piece begins with a very simple decision. No monumental act of triumph or rebellion, just the decision to go for a walk. And not any walk, but a walk in the moonlight. The moon for Harold is something he's fond of, something he connects to. And following those simple urges to experience something that you enjoy is, in fact, an environmental spell. Here, the very next page, the paragraph reads, "There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on." Harold has a simple want for a walk in the moonlight, and nothing about reality stands in his way in achieving that goal. Like the example of the sock snowball fight, you're at a crossroads. Even if there is no moon, your choices are: leave the regular happenings of the world and let their existence stop me from having my walk in the moonlight, or walk in the moonlight whether there's a moon or not. The moon could be a picture on a TV screen. The moon, one very simple spell, and the moon is wherever you want it. On a chain around your neck, flipped on by a light switch. There are many potent magics that we will be discussing at these meetings in the future, and have in the past, but I believe that environmental magic is potentially the most powerful. We've only scratched the very, very surface of its capabilities. I highly, highly recommend spending a moment to look over Harold's great, great work and really ponder the philosophies he's presenting. I feel like I've done the equivalent of a sticky note of information on something that deserves a doctoral thesis. So I believe we can expect much more discussion on this topic in the future. You don't know how much of a pleasure it was to be mentored by such a mind as this great environmental spellcaster. And I do truly hope that some of the work that we all do here could bolster the whimsical powers of other young enthusiasts. Desire's gesturing tells me that our meeting has already gone long, and people are surely impatient for refreshments and to begin their day, and hopefully their own forays into environmental spellcasting. It is one of the dearest charms to my heart. So, I wish you all a whimsical week, and hope you will join our ranks again at next week's meeting. So with that, farewell.
for you.